Let's get nuts.
Go. So yeah, first order of business anyway, before everyone leaves, is that we're going to have Mark Devlin coming on in September. 16th of September, we're going to record it.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with Mark's work, he's been at it now for a long time. We're thinking that he kind of keeps getting asked the same questions over and over again. So if you have any fresh questions for Mark Devlin, throw them into the comments under the video here, and we'll throw them his way.
Yeah. What does he, just to kind of break down what he actually looks at though?
Yeah, Mark is into, I suppose, MK Ultra is a big thing. MK Ultra and Satanism in the music industry.
Yeah.
That kind of symbology, you know. He recently interviewed this one, Kathy O'Brien, and David Ives talked about her for a long time as well. She was the mind control victim, MK Ultra victim. You're very composed her now.
Vaguely,
Kathy O'Brien.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, yeah, Mark Devlin is right up your alley. So
there's a lot of you'd see a lot of shit as well. Like, I sent it to you there. Maybe it's going back a year ago. But there's your man, The Weeknd. Do you know him, the singer?
No.
Yeah. But he's a pop singer basically. But he was at a concert and flashing on his screen, in the background, flashing was literally like subliminal message, Satan.
Oh right, okay,
Yeah. It was very strange.
You see, there was some, I can't remember what the exact words were now, but it was really fucking dark shit when U2 played in Las Vegas. They recently played in
On the Sphere.
Yeah. Sphere, and it was all this flashing shit, and it was mad shit. It was like kill babies and stuff. It was really dark stuff. I can't remember. It was, how long ago was that concert? Was it probably around a year ago?
Maybe, yeah, probably a year ago, I'd say.
Yeah, it was really fucking disgusting shit. But yeah, we'll be talking to Mark Devlin about U2 and those lads.
Yeah, break it down. Jesus.
Yeah,
because I remember as well they had that album and they put it out and did some deal with Apple, and everyone that had iTunes, they were basically sent it out without any bit of an option at all. Really.
Oh right, yeah.
They were sent it out.
Yeah,
it was a free album. It was a free album.
And they just gave it to everyone.
It was on everyone's iTunes. Yeah. People giving out about it.
Yeah.
But I think they later came out and they apologised. He was actually on Rogan, Bono. No, I didn't listen to it, but I read the comments. I don't know much about him, like, but people are saying like he's all fucking. He's a lot of chit chatter, like. And
Thomas Sheridan said he listened to it, and he said it was the most excruciating interview he ever listened to in his life. Yeah. I think I saw a clip where Bono was saying that food was rotting in warehouses, that it wasn't getting to people. I could only listen to him talk for 5 seconds. I just find it too cringy.
Was Rogan asking what was the point?
I swear to God, I watched 5 seconds. I think Rogan went on to point out that no, like when they're donating food to foreign countries, they use a lot of canned food, shit like that. They're not using fresh from the fucking orchard, I suppose. But
I was reading the comments to that. I think I've listened to the first 15-20 minutes, and people were giving out about that, and he was saying he was very kind of like I suppose. He's very kind of like a show person, they said. I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched many of his interviews that he's ever done, but Jodway, like, did he get some peace prize or something? He got some award there from the UN and
he's an OBE or something like that as well.
That's right, yeah.
Anybody who's getting an award from the royal family is like, you wouldn't leave them alone.
David Beckham got one.
You just don't know who. Like, see, the thing of it is, like, you think they're the real evil cons are going to be kind of obvious looking, but there's going to be some handsome ones there too, like, and you might expect, like, now here, look, saying everyone that's knighted or fucking given an OBE or an MBE by the royals is fiddling with children. Do you know what I mean? Because there's just a disproportionate number of the bar.
What about Epstein, the crack? But like I came across this clip and they were trying to say, this thing that the footage was missing a minute, and so in their defence, they came out and said whatever time of night it was, that every night when it's changing over the tapes, something like that, there's a couple of there's a minute missing apparently. Yeah. But then I seen another clip that was talking about the bin. They circled the bin and apparently the bin changed positions, like someone kind of rubbed off the bin within that minute. Yeah.
That's mad.
Look it up.
Do you know, I have a feeling like that the way it is, like, it's kind of like Orwell's 1984, right? Where it's almost at the point where the lies are so obvious that they're supposed to be obvious. We're not, like, the propaganda has gotten to a point, I think, where it's no longer supposed to fool us. It's supposed to humiliate us. So they're going to lie and they're going to tell us fucking lies that are so obvious that they're lies, but we have to accept them and carry on. Do you know? So we now know they're lying, but we're accepting that they're lying, and it's a kind of a humiliation thing for them, and it kind of it demoralizes the public. You know, to know that these to us now, we
make the public become more
have to carry on. Just just to get you to fucking just deny what you can see with your own eyes. Then they can make you fucking say and believe and do anything like that.
Yeah, but look, I don't know. I'm kind of split between it, like, because I suppose, as we said this before, we're in the digital age. So much information around the place. Information age, people call it as well. You don't know what's true, what's fucking put out there to try and I suppose mislead you from the truth as well. You know, you're kind of mixing truth, fact with fiction a lot of times, and it's hard to say which is which. But Trump came out and he's guessing that Truth Social platform is. So he was thrown off Twitter. He set up his own social media that was Truth Social. So he puts up everything on Truth Social first now. And he said, stop talking about the Epstein files. Stop asking about the Epstein files. His team now are saying that it was a conspiracy, or basically fraudulent, that was set up by the Democrats. False information put out there that Epstein had a list. And when whatever one's name was, part of Trump's administration, that said that there was a file on her table waiting to be reviewed by her. It sounded like she said the list was on the table, and people were asking, like, okay, the list is on our table, just tell us who's on the fucking list.
Yeah.
And then the spokesperson came out for Trump's administration and said, what she meant by that was the file with all the information was on her desk ready to be read, and what the file had was hundreds or thousands of minutes of child porn footage, apparently. That was seized from him.
Yeah.
But, like, then again, you can't, even if that is true, and if there is no list, you still can't blame the public for being, like, pushing back some bit, like, or being some bit furious, you know?
Yeah, I like when what's her name again? The fucking, she's the head of the DOJ now. Is the justice on her desk, or something.
Yeah. That's the word I'm on about.
But when she's being asked, like, your man literally says, "Are we going to see the list of?"
That's right.
And she goes, "It's on my desk for review." That's But I don't know.
One of McPhillips?
No.
Bondi.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
And then you have all the clips of what's his name.
That's the Irish. She's the Secretary General of the Department of Justice and Equality. Una.
Man's name, Kash Patel, is that his name? Yeah, he like all the old clips are coming back now of him. From things that he was saying a year ago and 6 months ago. He was really, he was like, what, why haven't the Democrats released the fucking list? Because they're all on it, sort of thing, And it's like, there's no list.
He was on Rogan.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that?
Did you hear I saw a clip of Rogan saying, he's saying to me, there's no list or whatever, and I can't. He felt like he couldn't really press him on it.
Yes. Yeah. That was to Danny Jones, actually.
Yeah, he said that. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
he said, "Do you think I would lie to you if I had a list? I'd show you."
Yeah.
And he says, "I can't really push back against it now."
No.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one when you're interviewing people. and they say something maybe that you disagree with, you kind of have to just.
But,
what do you do?
but what? Yes, because they're
Especially if
they're giving their time to come.
Yeah, if you come onto your podcast,
you want to be respectful.
You can't go, for example, come on and talk to us about your book, and then go, actually, you know what? I think you got that part wrong in your book. Can't you say you can't do shit like that?
You were forcing like future guests to be kind of second thinking, coming on your show, you're going to expose them. But like, what's funny about that? But like, just think of this little mind experiment. Like, put yourself in Cash Patel's shoes, right? Okay, so you the mindset going in, you want to expose all this shit. If there is conspiracies going on, like JFK files, Epstein files, or Epstein list, and you get in there, and if you actually see, oh fuck it, it's all false. There is no Epstein list. But then you could be you're saying it on the Joe Rogan, right? The Joe Rogan show that there's no list, and yet again people don't believe you. How can you prove that, Joe?
I don't know. Like if it was me, I'd be going, lads, I don't even expect you to fucking believe me. Like, you're just not going to believe me. You know? You're going to think I went in and I saw the fucking footage of Kennedy being assassinated from another angle or something. Understand that, you know, you're going to play ball.
I just think it's important to question these things. Like, I'm not saying that like all conspiracies are fucking true, but you just kind of have to keep an open mind about things as well, and just kind of question. And just because someone tells you something, okay, it might be true, but it mightn't be true either. You know?
Didn't Ghislaine Maxwell have a fucking a list of clients on like some black fucking diary of hers that the judge said?
Look, I
she definitely trafficked kids. Like, did you hear one of the victims actually?
That girl that was hit by the car and she was into the hospital and she committed suicide. Apparently before that, didn't she said that to her mother or something? I think that if something happens to me, look further into it. I think, was that her?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, loads of people. I was going to ask Mark Devlin about it. Happy. Remember that fella?
I see a lot of them up on Twitter actually. Yeah, a lot of people.
I actually on Twitter calls him Isaac's Army.
Yes. I actually follow him. That's it.
Like Isaac Happy is a good example of someone who was like, we're going on YouTube back in the day when YouTube still wasn't as censored as it is now. I think he died in 2014, and he was like, I'm not going to commit suicide. You know, and they're gang stalking me and they're following me around and they're cutting me off in the middle of my live streams, and he's fucking saying crazy shit like Tom Hanks is a paedophile and Steven Spielberg is a paedophile. And then Tom Hanks tweeted the day before Isaac committed suicide by jumping off a bridge onto Route 66. Tom Hanks tweeted a photograph, and he was always doing this weird shit. I think his Twitter account is gone now, but he was always taking photographs of like a child's sock on the side of the road, or a glove on the side of the road. And in this instance, I think it was a glove. But he said something like roadkill on Route 66 or something like that, and the next day your man is thrown off a bridge on Route 66. Well, committed suicide.
I suppose getting into, we were talking about during the week, and I sent you episodes from the Wi-Fi, isn't it?
The Synchronicities.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good listen. It was only about half an hour long.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But and we were just on about it there as well before this. One was Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
So he was in some film and preparing for the role apparently, and he happened to get on a train and found the book.
No, he'd been looking for the book all day.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. He'd been looking for the book all day, and he gave up looking for it.
Couldn't find it in any bookshop.
And then he's sitting down on a bench waiting for the train to come, and he finds the book
on the train.
Yeah, on the bench while he's waiting for the train. I think. Yeah.
Right. And inside the book was all the notes, and basically
all the notes in the book. Yeah.
Breaking down. Then he met with the director, and the director said something about. Did the director say he was missing the book?
The director said that he'd actually lent the book to somebody, and they lost it, and he said he was frustrated or something because he had loads of notes written in it.
That's right. Yeah.
Hopkins runs after his trailer, and he fucking pulls out the book.
Yeah.
He pulls out the book, and it's your man.
Yeah.
But like I was saying to you earlier on, like as a young fella, like I never really experienced anything like this. But in the last few years, I've experienced it a lot, and I'd say in the last couple of months, synchronicities are just fucking crazy. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm experiencing a lot. Like I was saying to you after one of our episodes there recently, you use what apparently is a fairly common phrase, helicopter mom.
Parenting.
Yeah,
Parenting.
and my wife used that phrase about 2 hours before we recorded that episode, and I was like, she said helicopter. She's been the helicopter mom. And I was like, what's a helicopter mom? And she was like, you've never heard that expression? I've never heard that expression. And then 2 hours later, you said it to me, and I was like, this is fucking mental. And like when your man kind of at the end of that episode, he was kind of doing his usual, but is it true kind of a thing, And and he said, if everyone sends off a balloon, someone will find it. Do you remember that? I thought that one was just too much. Like a girl, I can't remember her name.
She wrote her name,
Sarah something. She sends her balloon off into the sky.
Yeah.
Ends up 100 miles down the road, found by another girl with exactly the same name. They had the same middle names. They both had a hamster.
Did they meet up then or something?
They were wearing the same clothes.
Same hamster, and same.
They had the same. They both had a 3-year-old black Labrador.
Yeah.
There was about 15 different things, So I don't know what it is,
but you would know, are these stories like I know he does his research and everything, yeah. But like I think he should be putting up, or I don't think he does it, like all his information where he actually gets his facts.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a made up story there, like some kind of.
He said that one was well documented.
Was it?
I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah. But then, like pushing back against that, they'd be saying like, the human mind, we look for patterns in chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is that one about the pyramids? Like, if anyone that's interested in the pyramids, you'd see him. They'd be on about the circumference of the earth is equal to, like, I don't know, the perimeter of the Great Pyramid or something like that, and that so the coordinates of the Great Pyramid is like or it's exactly or very near to the speed of light. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'll throw up them.
Okay.
I'll throw them up there on the screen as well.
All right.
Let's see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there, the coordinates. So north 29.979248, and that's the speed of light as well. So that's one similarity. But Randall Carson and all these like people that to be studying the alternative side of it. Stop sharing. Yeah, they'd be saying that obviously they'd be putting all these facts forward, and then anyone like an archaeologist that's pushing back on it says that thing that I just said about the synchronicity, that it's just human beings spotting organizing chaos, basically.
Right. Well, the synchronicities that I experience now wouldn't be like the girl in the balloon, but be the equivalent of you and I have just been talking about Anthony Hopkins. Turn off this, and you go in there and you turn on the television, and the very first thing you see is Anthony Hopkins talking about the time he found the book. It would be that crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't really know what it means. But fucking, it's an interesting topic. Like, and it's definitely real. Like, it's not. I know people go. They see things like 11/11 everywhere and stuff like that. Like, I kind of understand the explanation for that, but things like randomly thinking about person you haven't met in 10 years and then walk around the corner and they're standing in front of you.
Just one that I heard now was that Danny Jones lad, it was only today, and he was saying a story like last year what happened to him. There's a friend of his father's that goes golfing with him, but he's known him for like 25 years, and Danny himself has only had a phone call with this man 2 times ever in his life in the space of 25 years. And Danny was supposed to be meeting up with him to play golf in like a week's time, when he was just taking a car journey home this evening, and he was just thinking of the meeting, of how he was going to meet him, like, and what he was daydreaming basically. Yeah. And then literally about a half an hour or 20 minutes after that, he got a phone call from that same fella, which would only be the third time in the 25 years that he's ever been talking to him on the phone. And it was just a random question, not related to anything.
Yeah.
And he found it fucking mind blowing.
Yeah.
But like the déjà vu thing as well, it's fucking, it's weird, like, Joe, and you can't really pinpoint. It just kind of happens to you. Like sometimes it'd be clear cut, like you might see a déjà vu. I don't know, we've talked about something like this before, but you might go through something and fuck it, I've done this before.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, does this ever happen to you where you could be literally doing anything, and then you take a pause and say, "There's something familiar to this. That something's happened like this before."
Yeah.
But you can't really put a finger on what exactly it is.
Yeah.
It's this weird kind of feeling.
Yeah. I've definitely experienced that.
I've listened to this podcast here today of this guy who was creating video. He's like over video game companies. I think he's on the Danny Jones podcast as well, and he's wrote books on simulation theory and stuff. And says that a lot of this, that it's all interlinked basically. And I think we've talked about stuff like this as well before, but
Déjà vu now as well.
yeah. But so the whole idea of showing you're playing a video game and it only renders what's in front of you.
Yeah.
So of what the character is actually seeing.
Yeah. That's the same. With our reality.
It's the same with our reality, and it's the whole idea of going into quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
So the whole idea that there could be one particle here, and it could be like in a different location into the miles, hundreds of thousands of light years into space.
Yeah.
And what it's doing here, its behavior here, could be mimicked at the exact same time to the other particle in a different location.
Yeah.
But it's the whole. So that's what they call that quantum entanglement, multiverse theory. But then it's the observation side of it then as well. So that did you ever hear of Schrodinger's dog?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that's like basically Schrodinger was this guy carrying out. Was he the fella that? No, who was the guy that was carrying out experiments on dogs as well? Where he treated animals, he treated them like shit. Okay, it's not that fella anyway. But this fella was carrying out this experiment of dog in a cage or in a box or something, or it's in a cage, he had it covered. And it's just the whole idea of Schrodinger's cat. I think that's it. So the idea of the cat could either be dead or alive. That's the two options.
Yeah.
So
it's a cat in a box or something.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a thought experiment, I think.
Yeah.
So you only find out when you open it.
Yes.
What state the cat is in. Until you do, it exists.
Every possibility is
Every possibility exists at the exact same time. But it's proven with quantum mechanics and light photons. We've talked about this well before when you pass it through a slit.
Yeah.
So it goes in waves. So light photons travels in waves or in a line. So with the double slit experiment, and when you add an observer in the middle, it changes the outcome on the way it lands on the back panel. Would say is different to when it's fired without an observer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like what they call it, spooky action at a distance as well. So that's that quantum entanglement. But like that stuff maybe that we can't explain, like that maybe that's the start of it. Like that's just scratching the surface with quantum mechanics of things.
You were saying something there a minute ago. Remind me. Do you ever have a concussion?
Once ever, yeah. When I was about 14, I'd say.
It's a nasty experience.
And you're missing a bit of time.
It's a weird one though. But I have 4 concussions. I haven't had one now since I was 22, but I had 4 concussions, and the second one I had was one of the crazy experiences of my life, because I was playing a match, clashed heads with somebody, and eventually they were taking me off the field, and I was walking off the field, and all of a sudden I realised I've been here before. And I don't mean like déjà vu, like, oh my fucking God, I've actually been here before. And then I turned to my friend, because I felt like I have to get this out before everything changes or I forget or whatever. So I turned to my friend and I was like, I swear to God, I've fucking been here before. We're going to lose this match. Guaranteed we're going to lose this match. I've been here before. Now, by the time I got to the touchline then, it was all gone. I couldn't even remember where I was. I've thought about that a lot over the years, and it's only now that, like recently, that I was thinking that how I felt, because I couldn't remember what the score of the match was. I just remembered that we'd lost, right? But it wasn't like when I was saying I've been here before. It felt like longer than I'd been alive, but I couldn't figure that out. Do you know what I mean? Now looking back on it, like I'm 40, nearly 44, so I have memories of friends that I had like 30, 35 years ago, let's say. But I'd never experienced like trying to remember something from, like I was 18 at the time of that concussion, but the memory was longer than 18 years. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like I felt like I've been here before, but it's been like 50 years, but I couldn't wrap my head around that because I was only 18, and it's only now that I'm telling you, I sometimes I feel like we are just observers now, or we're reliving our lives or something. But 100%, I knew I had been there. It wasn't just like, whoa, I have this weird deja vu feeling.
Podcast that I was listening to today, your man, the computer games guy. So he was saying as well, he's been studying religions, okay? And I can't remember which exact ones he's saying, but there's some religion, I think it's Middle East someplace anyway, and they were saying that like that, you start off when you're a kid, right? And your soul basically, so the journey of your soul. So when you die, your soul, wherever it goes into a different dimension, heaven, whatever we want to call it, but it lives on. But you're the whole thing of reincarnation. So this idea that the soul, the longer of a time that it travels, it forgets, it loses its memory. So then he said about this deja vu. I think that's so in these cultures as well, these religions, whatever you want to call them, that when you're picking up these moments of deja vu, these are previous lives that you've lived before, but your soul is barely remembering. It's a memory that's attached to the soul.
Right.
If that makes sense. So yeah. So I think there's some. Just we'll have to look it up or listen to that podcast even yourselves. I get the name of the lad, but that idea of the reincarnation, because it even goes like this. Do you ever hear people like you could have I've heard a story before of this elderly couple, and they both made a promise to themselves that if whoever goes first, they'll leave signs, and they made like an agreement to make distinct, specific signs that that their soul lives on wherever, or there's a heaven.
Okay, sorry, from the other
side, okay. Basically, yeah. But there was never anything. But then, I literally thought of that story when I was listening to that podcast today, and I was thinking, what if the soul gets lost up there or whatever, cannot come in contact with our dimension of reality, whatever we want to say it.
Yeah.
And it loses its memory, so it can't actually. Maybe it doesn't know where it's from. Maybe it's just not like we are here. We feel like we've only ever existed here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think sometimes like we like you could die, and wherever you wake up, our lives might just kind of fade away like a dream you can't remember. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but
dreaming while you're on it.
Yeah, love it.
You said you had it.
Yeah, I've tried. Actually, everything harks back nearly to fucking Alchemy Radio, because I heard this couple talking about lucid dreaming on Alchemy Radio, and they claimed that they had it down. So for those of you who don't know, lucid dreaming is where you're able to realize when you're sleeping, when you're dreaming, you realize you're dreaming, and then you can control the dream to a certain extent. And so, for example, this guy said he was able to overcome his fear of heights by standing on cliff edges in his dream or something. I think his wife said she overcame a fear of spiders by holding spiders in her dreams and stuff like that.
Class.
But there's a few techniques that work, but the one that worked for me, and apparently, see, I'm not dedicated enough to it. You have to do it while you're awake. So when you're awake, you look at your hand and you go, yeah, my hand is my hand. That's my hand, right? So now I know I'm awake, right? And you do that regularly through the day. Every so often you check with yourself, am I dreaming? Check your hand, right? So your hand, you can see a thumb and four fingers, right? But when you're dreaming and you go, fuck, am I dreaming? And you look at your hand starts to look like this. So you start to see like you have more fingers. And then you go, holy fuck, I'm dreaming. And then everything around you changes then. There's a different glow to it and you can see everything. And you can do stupid shit like now. What this couple said. Now I've only managed to do this. I swear the dream is over in 5 or 10 seconds because I get too excited and then I just wake up. Can't fucking help it.
Yeah.
And that's common as well apparently. But they said that the most common thing that people do when they lucid dream is fly and fuck celebrities. But apparently, once you get over fucking celebrities and flying, there's a lot to that you can do. And they said that there'll be people in your dream, you can walk up to them and they might be a part of your subconscious mind or something like that. So the best, the two best ones that I experienced was one, I realized I was dreaming. And I saw this woman walking across the front of my house. So I floated out the door. I was able to kind of float across. And then I went over to her and I said, so what do you want to talk about? And then I just got too excited and I woke up. And the second time I was like, okay, I'm going to try this flying thing. I'm going to fly now. And fuck, I went way up. And then I started getting fucking scared because it was actually kind of, it's like virtual reality, but it was fucking, and that snapped me out of it as well. But it's really real and it's actually crazy.
Dreams like
Yeah. And then I say to the wife, she goes, shit, like, you know, but it's true.
So just going back there to this podcast, it's already released today. Your man's name is Rizvan Verk. So he's a video game pioneer, MIT computer scientist, and author of a few of the books, Simulation Hypothesis and Simulated Multiverse. But you're on about lucid dreaming there, right? So did you ever hear that there's drugs, there's these powders you can actually get to increase REM sleep, so rapid eye movement sleep?
Yeah.
And apparently one of the effects of it is that you can have your lucid dreaming is more pronounced.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's available on Amazon.
Oh right.
Yeah. So might even get a packet myself and fucking
yeah.
But like, what I find about dreams is, you know, the way, like, if you're after watching a horror movie or something, I think you're not big into horrors. But I remember some evenings, like, I watched, like...
You watched some fucked up horrors, man.
Oh, man, myself and worked out the girlfriend, we love them. We love them.
I watched, like, back in the day, I watched The Ring and The Ring 2.
Oh, no, that's... Yeah.
After that, I watched a load of those kinds of ones back when I was maybe 20 or so. Fucking done with that shit.
I'd even find there, if you're watching, like, zombie ones, that I tend to have dreams after that. Trying to run away from zombies and shit.
Really?
Yeah, trying to run down fields. Yeah, myself for a couple of days, just like, fuck's sake. And you'd be waking up in a fucking pile of sweat or something. You know?
Yeah.
But you've told me about that thing with the hand, checking the hand, and I always had it in my head, but when it comes to a dream, I never actually do it.
See, the thing is, they say
you're
supposed to do it. Get used to doing it during the day.
Right.
And then think of it.
Like a part of routine, I suppose.
Yeah. And then you think.
Yeah.
But you know what I've experienced, like, was that I could have it happen tonight now because we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It might even happen to you tonight now because we've talked about it. But yeah, it's worth practicing. I'm gonna have to try and get good at it. Turn my hand again. But there was a scene in what was that movie with your one who's now a tranny? She's a dude now, and she's
the Matrix directors. They're both
women. Little actress. Up with what she did. Anyway, she was in a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie Inception. And do you remember in their?
I never watched that film.
Did you not?
I must sit down and watch it. I must sit down and watch it.
I might watch it again. Actually, I watched it once. Around
Dream Police or something like that.
Do you know what? It's kind of hard to recall now. I think what they do is they enter into people's dreams and then put subliminal messages into their dreams. Something like that, I think. But there's a scene in it where Leonardo DiCaprio is chatting to this girl. She goes by the name Elliot Page now. Ellen Page, I think was her name. But they're sitting at they're outside a coffee shop and having a cup of tea or whatever, and they're chatting. And then he says to her, yeah, that's the one. He said something like, do you remember how we got here? She's like, what do you mean? He was like, do you remember sitting down? Do you remember coming here for making the decision to come here? And says no, and then she realizes that she's dreaming, and he starts having control of the dream now. She starts moving the street or something like that.
Whoa.
But yeah, it's worth a watch.
Guys, we're on about lucid dreaming. Yeah, so there's your page. Jeez, I didn't actually think, yeah. But that's what she looks like before. Oh, yeah, I recognize her. Okay. Share this tab. Share this one. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I recognize her.
She used to look like really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the same thing with the Matrix.
Last Mark.
The Matrix directors.
Like, see, this is the thing, right? They had all this. They kind of had a lot of esoteric knowledge. Those two lads. You know,
Right.
like that's deep subject matter and the whole concept of the Matrix. They kind of familiar with a lot of esoteric kind of shit that normal people aren't, you know.
Yeah, they're like that's deep.
Well, I just wonder sometimes, like, do they just pick people? Like, they're like, we're going to put out this movie called Matrix, and just get these people. They're going to be the faces of the two geniuses that wrote it and directed it, and the fucking payoff is they're going to end up fucking being trannies later on. They're going to agree to this, knowing that they're going to be wearing dresses in 20 years.
Some agreement.
It's just a deal. Unfortunate, but the deal is then you got to fucking because they're not really trannies.
Heard about that one.
Neither of those two lads are fucking taking medication.
What's the name of that lad? We talked about him before, but they're saying about Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was talking about all the black men in dresses, but it's every. Yeah, it's black men and white men.
It's like a ceremony kind of ritual. Or Joe, it's a strange one as well. The black eyes. Did you see that one online? Yeah, around the black eyes. So
I don't know.
yeah,
black eye. I mean, I had a black eye last year. You know.
That's it as well. Like how many?
Now I haven't had a black eye since I was like a teenager. Just got an accidental knock.
But apparently it's the right eye or something.
I don't know. Or maybe. I don't know.
I look a lot of this stuff. I'm not fully on board with, like, you know. But look, again, open mind. I don't shut down things straight away. There's some stupid retarded stuff out there.
There definitely might be something to it, but I can't bring that subject to go because they're just going to say, look, that's just
you're pushing.
It's not really back it up with anything, you know, other than, you know. What does it mean even? Like, what are they suggesting it means?
Apparently, it's if you're kind of like, it's like a ritual, or when you're kind of what's the word, like sworn into like a secret group, maybe like the Masons or the Illuminati or something. Apparently, that's part of the beating ritual.
Yeah, but Prince had one of them. He was one of the people. Not Philip. Yeah, Philip. The one who's
Philip.
But he's fucking old as fuck. Like, if he's not in the club at that point, like.
Yeah. See if I can look this up. Closed eyes. No. Might come up. Black Eye Club, they call it. So the Pope has it as well.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, very. There we go. Yeah, so you have the Pope there, you have Barack Obama, Robert Downey Jr. They're all in the same eye, which is it's probably a strange coincidence, like, you know. Kanye West.
They can flip the screen as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, anyone just
its left eye, then just
look at this one. With this many corrupt people hating him, he must be right, and Donald Trump has no bruises. Yeah, and another one there. This is a podcast there during the week as well, and this from a few years back. Talking to you about Chris Dunn. So he's this guy that's an engineer, and he wrote a book called The Pyramid or the Giza Power Plant. And he wrote another book then after that called The Tesla Connection. So his whole idea was he got obsessed with the pyramids, and he's a legit engineer. Like, I think he's in tool manufacturing or something like that. So he knows his shit. But he was kind of like carrying pieces that he was like he'd go to trips to Egypt, like, and he'd look at stuff with other engineers and stuff that would know more about a specific thing, like maybe a drill hole or something like that, or about the vases as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're very symmetrical and they're made out of dorolite or granite.
What vases?
So, like, you have these vases that are like, I'll show you. So I'm actually going to look what Chris done. That's
Interesting for everyone listening on Spotify.
Christopher Dunn. Images. So they're from Egypt.
And around the pyramids and stuff, were there?
Yeah, around the pyramids, like, so these were from. So even Christopher Dunn, Egyptian precision. Okay, so we'll even click into this one. I'll share the screen there. Yeah, so even the likes of these ones. So see the way they're so symmetrical looking, like.
Yeah.
And apparently some of these, one of the vase that he actually studied, it was precise to like 200th of an inch or 2,000th of an inch or something.
Yeah, well, I think I heard this.
It was like the size of a human hair.
Yeah, it was like a fraction of a human hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the same length, I think, of this human hair. But apparently, like, that's next to impossible to do without machines now.
Yeah.
And like the material is so hard as well, you know.
Right.
And like he's carried these to engineers or carried pictures and stuff, and the engineers they can't figure it out how they've actually done this.
Right.
I think they're dorolite and granite. I think a lot of these, like, which are, you know, crazy hard. But yeah. So his whole thing as well. So he thinks that the pyramids were basically a power plant. So, like, you have the king's chamber and the queen's chamber, and you have these shafts and the grand gallery. So he thinks that they're all used for a function. So he thinks that everything within that pyramid that's discovered so far had a function.
Yeah.
And that there was basically from the lithosphere, part of the crust on the ground, would say, of the earth underneath the pyramid, that there was electrons that were actually resonating from there. So the frequency of electrons, and they were actually brought up from the earth by these like hammers. So apparently there was these hammers or something like that was used to drive up the force of the electrons, and then that would carry them into the pyramid. And then what they'd mix it like with certain kind of chemicals, and then to create hydrogen, or else they'd use like microwaves. So then, the microwave in the shafts, there'd be like microwaves, I suppose is what he called them, I think, that would travel down up through the shafts, and where would they come from? So there'd be holes on the outside, there'd be openings on the outside of the pyramid, and there's nothing found out. This is all theoretical, but he thinks that there was something maybe that was close to the pyramid that was reflecting light in. And them waves there, it would cause like a microwavable energy, and then that would react with the chemicals and create hydrogen. So it's like a battery. Right. And then the battery could have been, and then that power could have been, like, all that electricity could have been emitted out through the top of the pyramid.
And I mean, how it's so big and so elaborate. It must have been power, and had to be worth it. So how many people were getting this energy?
The question is, what was it actually powering? Like, so they don't really have. There's just theories on that. They don't have any real evidence to support that theory. Potentially, it could have been like Tesla's belief that the free electricity. That, do you remember the Tesla? What's it called? The Tesla Tower. Yeah, the free energy would just into the air.
Yeah, he thought that he could transmit electricity wirelessly or something.
Wirelessly, and then people with receivers would just kind of receive them.
Yeah.
the electricity from the air, and straight away he was called a madman because he said this electricity is going to kill people. That's what they're saying. That's what's his name, Thomas Edison. He wanted to put a meter on everything because he obviously wanted to monetize it, and I think he paid some well-known newspaper to put at the front that Tesla's AC power for electricity would kill people.
Right.
So he's turned the public against it. Yeah. So that's what his second book gets into. Now I didn't read his books, but I listened to the podcast with him, and it's an interesting idea. But then there was pushback on the vase theory, would say, right? That, like your man Flint Dibble, I think we talked about him before. He went up and he's a mainstream archaeologist. Okay. He debated Graham Hancock not so long ago, and he was actually firing a lot of false facts at Graham Hancock, which Graham Hancock didn't know of. Okay. So then it was found out after that. Yeah, he was pulling a fast one on him like that. But he pushed back at it, and he said, "Look, these vases were put on something that would rotate, and you could have like your copper tool or dorolite tool stone that would carve into it, and your vase would just be rotating, or your stone would be rotating." That makes sense. Yeah. But what they're saying is the force to rotate it would have to be colossal, because that stone is so hard. You get what I'm saying? To even cut into it, and it would take so fucking long to do it. And apparently there's so many phases around the place that doesn't really hold up with the engineering community, which is it's grand for the likes of me or you, or even you, to come across YouTubers that have all these theories about the pyramids and stuff. But like when you have engineers that are actually looking at it and they're baffled by it, you know, I think they kind of bring something to the table, like. But yeah, that was something interesting. But then during the week, you actually said it to me, and I kind of came across it online as well, about your man, the Annabelle doll.
Stuff.
That was mad. Yeah, what was your man's name? He was a paranormal investigator.
Rivera.
That's right.
And he died while on tour or something with this thing, and the clip you sent me, they were removing it out of this box, and because the box had to be fucking repainted in with more fucking holy water fucking varnish or something. They were mixing holy water into varnish, and whoever fucking set this thing up really believed that this fucking thing was dangerous. But
he was warned not to take it out, and the Warrens, before they died, they always said don't take the Annabelle out, leave it there in the case.
We were joking earlier on that we should find a haunted house and do a podcast from it in Ireland. These haunted houses out there. I
wouldn't fuck with whatever about that though, kind of ghost stuff. I think will be harmless. I believe in ghosts to a certain degree. I think there's a lot of bullshit out there with ghost hunters on that stuff for the television. I think a lot of that is put on because how come every episode that you have fucking something, you know? But the Warrens warrant, whatever. Let's go for a piddle. I'm gonna get up a picture of this fella then Riviera. So he died of a heart attack, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a heart attack he died of. But yeah, they were carrying it around a tour around America, the doll. But like when you look at the doll, and if you've ever watched the movie, like the doll in real life looks a lot more friendly. They made it look fucking creepy as fuck in the movie.
Chunky hair, and it'd be scary back in the 90s, man.
There's a lot more fucked up stuff. So that's your man, and just sad, doesn't it? Look, warning: positively do not open. I think it says. So that's the actual the educated Lorraine Warren's room, like and where's the? Just get the see what the Annabelle doll actually looks like on the movie. Looks a lot more fucked up. I think they should have left it the way it does, the way it is. So that's the way it is in the movie, like, you know. I think they should have left it the way it is because something that looks kind of friendly, want to creep you out a lot more. But Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast actually. Your man, funnily enough, Keith Barry. You know Keith Barry, the magician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he'd be on RT, that stuff. But myself and the girlfriend, we won tickets from Today FM to go and see the premiere of Black Adam. It's a DC movie there about 3 years ago. Wasn't great now. Superhero film.
Okay, yeah.
But it was on in the Odeon there in the Point above in Dublin.
Right.
So we were sitting down anyway, and who comes on and sits down beside us? Keith Barry and the wife and the kids.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was telling Roberta, I said, do you know who that is? Then no, that's Keith Barry. Like I used to be watching him when I was a kid, like on RT and stuff.
Yeah.
But he has a podcast now called, I think, is it Open Mind or something? And he actually got a paranormal investigator on, and he was talking about some of the stories, like, and some of the scariest things that creep him out that happen a lot are when they've been signed to houses or whatever, and it's on the playback. You might hear "Help me" being whispered, "Help me."
Oh, jeez.
Something like that. And they mightn't pick it up on when they're actually there sitting in the location. It's when they're reviewing it afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. What you think? But like they were going about the soul, like, and the stuff. Like what you think they are, like, these ghosts?
I don't know. I came across one. There's a YouTube channel called Nightmares and Whispers, or Whispers and Nightmares, I think it's called. But it's a good story. And I remember it basically is about this family. The mother was widowed and she was left with fucking 5 or 6 kids to mind, and everything was fine for a couple of years after the father died. But then there was a gradual kind of a presence in the house and a constant knocking, and eventually it kind of got to the point where stuff was being moved around, and then it started getting more and more aggressive stuff being thrown around. Apparently it's well documented by the local newspapers at the time. I think this was around the turn of the last century, and they had like bishop or some local priest came first, and he came out of there going, "Yeah, there's definitely fucking something going on." But I was reading in the comments afterwards, and there's people there. Like there's one fellow saying he's a postman, and he goes, "Yeah, I know the place well, and everyone knows that place is fucked up, and it's the ruins of the house are still there, and people stay out of it." Wow. So we should go up there and do a podcast in the middle of the night.
Where is it?
It's in Anna.
I think I'd actually shit my pants.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
I don't know. What would you be up there? I've been talking about it, but when you're actually up there,
sitting here now. And actually, what happened was, according to the story, people they got so it drove them so crazy. The family left, and they left the country, and they went to where did they fucking end up? Fucking Texas or something. They went to America to get the fuck away from this, and it ended up following them. So the legend goes that whatever happened, they got there, and the thing had followed them, and then the family split up. There was no further records after some of the kids just moved out and left or whatever, and that was the end of the records. Today,
come across a lot of that on movies that the thing follows you. But like the mind plays tricks as well, like, because if you're sitting in a building, like if we're sitting here in the house, right? And if you like the mind and fear and stuff, I think would kind of you'd start to hallucinate and you'd start hearing shit. I think, right? So I think when you're sitting in a place, like if you're sitting in a castle that's haunted, you know it's fucking you have that pre-recognition of the idea that this is haunted. I'm going to expect something's going to happen. So your mind is already alert. It's on high fucking alert to environment. So when you're sitting there, there could be a creak of a timber, and you're thinking, "Oh, someone's walking up there," you know. But what I find interesting is the stuff when you hear things talking, like, you know, that kind of stuff, or stuff if you're seeing something. Now, but then, could your mind play a trick on you that you're actually seeing something, like a woman walking in an old dress? Are you actually seeing that thing as well? Do you know? I think there is some truth to it, but I think there is some probably cases where a lot of it is the imagination playing tricks as well.
Like what you make of things like Ouija boards?
I'd stay away from them. I won't touch them.
But then, like, average person would say that's no bullshit. I mean, people will say things are bullshit, but they still won't fuck with them, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even things like, I know my local butcher told me he had a guy bought a site near his farm, and there was a fairy fort on it, and he bulldozed the fairy fort and fucking built a house, and according to the butcher, he fucking lost everything within a couple of years. The butcher ended up buying your man was loaded apparently, and then the butcher ended up buying your man's jacuzzi off him. He apparently lost everything. So, and like you were saying about the ring fort there on the.
Yeah, that's it.
On the N7, is it?
Yeah, it's in between Gort and Crusheen, I think.
There's more accidents at that location. I don't know.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently.
I'll have to reach out to Eddie Lennon and ask him to yeah, we'll have to. Because Eddie, she didn't know. She was school next to his school.
Oh, the school next to his school.
Yeah. But he was a well-known figure, well-known character. He's recognisable. Shall we say? He stands out in the crowd anyway.
He used to be on the Dane as well, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be on the Dane.
All right.
The 90s, I think.
Yeah.
And his podcast. His podcast is
very good. Yeah. I saw him on YouTube there a while back, and he was the town he was in now, but he was talking about the story about a girl that went missing in this town, vanished into thin air, and then sort of fucking 30 or 40 years later, this fella's going down the road and he's planning on selling a cow or something, and he's going down to the local market to sell a cow or something, and he comes across this fella, and this fella goes, "Where are you off to?" He goes, "I'm selling the cow." He goes, "I'll buy that cow off him." He offers him an extraordinary amount of money. So are you serious? Whatever, fuck the cow or a horse, can't remember the story.
Yeah.
He follows your man down this alleyway and into this courtyard or something, and he finds himself in this big house, and there's a big banquet, and your man's like, "Sit down there and have a feed before we make the deal or whatever." And your man's like, "Jesus, fucking great, like, And long story short, he sits down, and this girl that's helping serve the food or whatever, she comes up to him. She kind of goes, "Follow me, like, you gotta get the fuck out of here, like, And she helps him get out. They kind of chase him.
Don't eat the food, wasn't it?
Something like that. She was
I heard the story.
Yeah, and he claimed to be this guy's long lost aunt who disappeared or something like that. She couldn't leave with him. She had to stay. I'd love to have Eddie on to talk about this kind of stuff. But, like, I talk about this stuff now.
That's like Tears. I think that's a different story. Yeah.
It's a different one then as well. But,
yeah, Fear the Nog is when and then sets off on the horse, and then when he gets off the horse.
Yeah.
Becomes old.
Yeah, Oisin, he falls in love with this girl. She arrived on the ocean on a fucking. According to the story, the horses were able to run across the water with chariots or something.
Yeah.
He falls in love with this girl. She convinces him to come to Tirnanog with him. With her, so he agrees. But time. This is. We talked about this before. We really talked about this before. It was about that movie with Matthew McConaughey where they go to some planet and time is different. Yeah, Interstellar. Yeah. So I think the gist of this story was that Oisin didn't realise time was moving much faster back home in Ireland than it was in Tirnanog, and after what he felt like was a couple of years, missed the lads. Said he was going to go back to visit, and she warned him, "You can't touch the ground when you get back." And she warned him that they wouldn't be there; things would be different. He went back anyway. What was the story? He's helping these two lads move a boulder or something like that. He had loads of strength, but he knew he couldn't get off the horse. But Tirnanog had given him super strength or some shit as well or something. And he put the boulder, and the strap on the horse broke, and he fell off, and he aged rapidly. He died in a few hours or something like that. That's the legend anyway.
That's the legend, and they also linked it in the UFO side of things as well. So they say that
yeah, like when people talk about this fucking skating across the ocean, like the best that the people at the time could say was, well, they were running across the fucking thing on their chariots or whatever the fuck,
yes. So they're saying the UFO community. I heard of this on a podcast before, and it's an American crowd that were saying it
about Tirnanog.
Yeah, and that apparently that it's so, like you said, the horses, chariots, whatever, that was their mode of transportation that they could compare it to.
Yeah.
So then what they said was that was actually UFO, and it was an alien that was taking Oisin away. And then he went away to a distant planet.
Okay.
time was worked differently there. Maybe gravity was different on the planet, like Interstellar. Then by the time he came back, huge amount of time passed by on Earth. That was it. Yeah.
For those of you outside of Ireland, Tiernan means the land of the youth.
That's right. Yeah. Great story from Eddie. He's a couple, and he's an episode as well about Halloween stories. I think it's very good.
Was he? Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's his first one. It's the very first one.
Could be.
Yeah. Isn't that the one? I love that story about again, like I get into this morbid selling your soul to the devil stuff. But he was telling a story about the guy who sells his soul to the devil for a deck of cards. To help him win at cards.
Yes.
He had to do this ritual. It had to be a certain day or something. Crawl under these briars or something like that, backwards or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the gist of it now, but something like that. And he said when he got through the other side, because this guy was fed up with losing cards, he was losing his fucking shirt playing cards, and when he got to the other side, there was a deck of cards, the most beautiful deck of cards I've ever seen in his life.
Yeah.
Point like where he was winning so much, every time, even when he tried to lose, he would still win.
Yeah.
And he ended up fucking leaving Ireland and traveling the world, or traveling across Europe, playing cards and making a fortune. But something happened. What happened at the end? I have to get Eddie onto it. Yes, he went back to a priest or something, and he said, he told the priest the story or something. The priest was like,
the priest told on to the cards or something, and there was something about someone later on as time passed by. I don't know, did your man pass away or something, or did he go away? Oh no, your man went away. He left the cards, I think, with the priest.
Yeah.
And then someone asked the priest what was the story of the cards, because they must have seen it in his house or something. And he says, stay away from them cards, they're the devil's deck or something like that.
I'll have to get Eddie on to talk about that kind of stuff.
Well, sure, we might give him a buzz there and see. But so that's the crack. Anyway, next month, September, we have that episode coming on with Mark Devlin. That'll be interesting. Fair play. So I suppose
you'll be in Dubai.
I'll be in Dubai. I'm heading away to Dubai in a few weeks, so we'll be doing the episodes virtually, I suppose. But as I was saying, so we might throw something up there. We were saying even a week before the episode. If anyone has a few questions that we want to throw our way, and we can ask.
If you're not familiar with Mark Devlin stuff, he's well worth the watch. Yeah, some very good stuff there. Yeah.
That's it. We'll wrap it up for today. Mighty. Thanks for listening.